What is up, everybody? So today we are going to talk about my kayak, and I run the 2023 Autopilot 120. We're gonna go on what I like about it, what I don't like about it. So we're gonna start at the front of the boat, what I've done to it. We'll have you guys running in the back of the camera, and then we'll use our chest to show you the individual parts of the kayak. So here we go. We're gonna start off at the front. And in the front of the boat, we got we'll start with the handle. What they did differently from the PDL is the horizontal handle was on the PDL, and it made it kind of pulling it and bringing it places a lot harder to maneuver the boat and carry it. Handle being vertical like that really is better on when you're like dragging it on the wheels and everything like that. We got the Yak Power bug eyes for our navigation light. I kind of messed up. I would not recommend putting them up on this lip. I did that here because I didn't want to put anything under the water line, because I do take this boat to striper fish where we get into a little bit rougher waters and sometimes it splashes over. I didn't know that it comes with these little rubber grommets, so even if you do put it down here, they're tight enough to where they're watertight, so it really wouldn't have mattered. So what I would do instead of putting them up here is putting them down here and maybe back a little bit more. Going on to the one and pretty much only thing that I don't like about the boat is this front hat. I run an Aqua 10 amp hour battery for the lights. That's why that was sitting there. But basically this hatch is only like 4 inches wide, so getting anything in your front hatch is difficult. A battery fit, so I run a 18 amp hour Dakota lithium battery for my graphs, and just so you guys can see how difficult it is to get this battery in and out. And you guys know it's only an 18 amp hour, so it's not that big, but I mean, I gotta really findangle it to get it out of there. I wish that the hatch could have been a little bit bigger. I know that because of where the motor bracket is and the handle, really not much surface area to work with. But anyway, that is one thing that I dislike about this boat. And since it's right here, and we'll talk about the belly of the beast, which is the Minn Kota. This is a 45-pound thrust trolling motor. I mean, for me, it works perfectly. It does not win you any races, I will say that. Great trolling motor. I've never had any problems with it. Spot lock on them striper days and the heavy winds and things like that, it really keeps you in the same spot and really works really well. It is, like I said, it's only a 45-pound thrust, and it really does not. I think I max out about 3.8, and I'm, you know, a fairly husky guy. It's a very strong motor. It does have a battery meter on here, but it will not read a lithium battery. This is designed for a lead acid battery. And so when you, so then you can kind of see under your seat here is where you would plug in your battery. So what we're showing here is this little doohickey right here. When you put that on, you have your pull handle here, which deploys the motor. I have my cart down there, so it won't let me deploy it, but you can kind of see how that works. But this little magnet here has to be on this red strip for the motor to read itself. So we'll go ahead and just put that on there. You'll hear the motor beep like that. So you see that it will work, but the problem with that is a lithium battery gives you all power up until the second that it dies. So it's all or nothing. A lead acid battery will drain periodically, showing you the meters. So it'll say that it's full all the way until it dies, and then it's just done. And I used to have a video on my old channel where we went to Berryessa. I charged it under a 24-volt setting, and it did not charge, so we were stranded out there. But other than that, making sure that it's charged the right way is the only malfunction that I've had with the motor, which isn't a malfunction on the motor, it's user error. So we're moving over to the platform. It's a nice big area to stand. Very stable boat. I've never flipped in it, and I go in some pretty hefty waves. Your foot steering here, so you have multiple adjustments where you can bring it forward, bring it back, shorter, taller, all that good stuff. And that controls the rudder in the back, so you can steer. I like to keep my scupper plugs plugged in at all times. These are the Ocean Kayak one-way valves, so they'll let water out but not in. Sometimes if you're out on some really hefty water, it's good to take them out. Just that Old Town thought about this whole kayak fishing industry, and that we all use these catch boards. Some are 32 inches. This is a 32-inch board that I cut down to 27.5, so that it will fit in the custom notch that they made inside the kayak that your board fits in so perfectly. It also has little cubbies. I have some bait juice. This is the power bait attractant. I really like that stuff. It makes it stink. As you can see, the board just sits right in there. You could even put your net up, and this will go inside the net, and you can measure your board, your fish, and have your net protecting the fish. Moving on to the seat. The seat is a decent seat. I spend anywhere from 9 to 12 hours at a time on this boat, and sometimes shorter, but for the most part a good 8-hour day. And I would recommend getting a seat cushion of some sort, because this seat is not the most comfortable seat. But as you can see down here, this is where your battery goes. There's 2 straps that lock the seat down so that it doesn't fly away, and then these little clips that your seat just goes in. This is a little caddy that I put on there. This doesn't come with the seat, but as you can see that your battery is just right in there. It has its own little storage space for the battery built into the kayak. And there's also a scupper plug down there, so that when water gets into the battery compartment, if you do happen to flip it or whatever, it'll drain out. And then on the right side of the seat, you got two drink holders. You got a forward facing rod holder here, and I'll get over on that, what I did there. That's all custom. You would have 2 forward facing rod holders depending on where you have your graph. I don't use that forward because it hits my graph. So you got 2 cup holders, a little storage thing here for miscellaneous. I keep hooks, weights that I might, be using or whatever in there. You got a spot for 2 boxes. This comes with the kayak. You get 1 box with the kayak. I purchased this one after. But yeah, it fits a 3700 terminal tackle box quite perfectly. And moving on to the other side. Oh, something we forgot about was they have holes pre-drilled into the kayak with rubber grommets. I don't know if you guys can see. With rubber grommets that keep it watertight, but they come from the factory with those. My graph's on the right side because I bring my fish in on the left side. I don't know, that's just the way I do it. So we got our wires coming up through here, running with a little bit of dressing to our Garmin that goes on our track. These tracks are not very sturdy, as you can see. They don't really hold it very tight, but they do make, I think Ketch brand makes a track. It's aluminum, and it's very, very sturdy, so I'll be picking up a couple of those. Moving on down, so we have our other forward-facing rod holder. On Navarre Kayak Fishing, they have a rod holder replacement that has a little track on it. So what I did was I used a little 1-inch ball ram mount and put the remote control so that it's fixed to the kayak with the little lanyard wrapped around my foot steering tether, just in case it comes off or whatever, that it won't, because it does not float, but it is waterproof. We run a 93 SV Garmin that we got from a friend of ours. Big shout out, thank you very much. I don't think he wants to be in the video. Thank you to him for that. And here's your kill switch. Your kill switch, as you can see, it's tethered to my life jacket. So in case I fall out, this will pop off. It's just a little magnet with a clip, and you just boop, pop that in, and then your motor will either, if you fall out, will automatically kill it. And then you have your a storage spot. I keep my inhalers, some extra nicotine pouches, and then my rear GoPro remote control, so I can control my GoPro on the go. There is another hatch down here that you guys can see. When you lift up your seat, you got another little hatch here that you can pop this off, and that's actually where I put my battery for my Nakua, for my lights. So that goes all in there, and then I just set the Nakua in there. Has a little bit of Velcro, and boom, lights are good to go. So I also run the Old Town, I forget which model this is called. Let's see if it says it on there. No, I'm not sure. But I run the Old Town life jacket. I love this life jacket. It's got a lot of good pockets. I got my, my clippers. I keep my fishing license in here. And then I just keep a GoPro cord on there, and typically either a lighter, and then I'll have my external battery pack in there. So over here we got our holder. It has a little strap on there to lock it in. We have lost a paddle because we forgot to strap it down. We move on to our rear rod holders. I got just one for my net, landing fish. Right here we have a little kick plate for when if you're not going to use your motor. This goes right over the hole, so a bunch of water doesn't just keep splashing in here. There's 2 more scupper plugs. There's 2 more scupper plugs right here to let out more water. This thing has I think 11 scupper plugs throughout. And then we, oh, you know, for the seat, we have this little cooler that we keep all of our waters and snacks and things like that inside of it. Sorry, the neighbor's doing something with a leaf blower. So yeah, we keep all our coolers or our drinks and stuff like that in there. Little cubby thing actually came on the front here, but I was like, I'm never gonna use that, so I put it up front in there. Here we got the Yak Pack 16 by 16, just 2 boxes, more terminal tackle, thing of soft plastic, some suntan lotion, an extra propeller, a scale, and then some GoPro batteries and an external hard drive or external battery pack that I have a cord running to the rear GoPro. Let's turn this on me. After that, that's pretty much all we got in there. Is just, you know, we got some WD-40, we got some extra line, a speaker, some super glue, you know, first aid kit. I have 10 rod tubes. I typically only carry between 9 and 8 rods. One of the tubes I have strictly for my my Yak Attack Pro light thing. Yeah, you gotta have this, so don't let that automatic DQ. But yeah, the boat has a lot of storage space back here, as you guys can see that back here down by the rudder, which here's your rudder. You got a little strap for that. Lots of bungees, so you can, you know, I travel with the Yak Pack in the truck. I don't ever take it out really. It's in there pretty solid, so, and it's just bungeed down and sitting in there, so you can move it, see, but I mean, it's heavy enough that it doesn't really move. We've got that big chunky rudder, as you guys can see, from the PDL to the autopilot. It's almost double in size. I like to call it the duckbill rudder. And then for the hull, I figure what I can do is go ahead and talk about the hull so you guys can see that it has this point down here, and that's your skeg. It's built inside into the hull of the kayak. It's got a double pontoon style hull. You can see where the dents from where I rested on the bed of my truck. But this skeg is what creates it to track so well in the water as you're, you know, sitting in your spot, using spot lock. I do tend to drift the ass end, but not as bad as you would think. So this skeg really does help. You deploy your rudder and bring it back up with this lever here. And that's, I mean, pretty much everything that is on this boat. It's got very high, tall gunnels that I like a lot. The main thing with this is it's the stability. You know, I feel safe in the water. I feel safe on this boat. And to me, that's the main worry or your concern when buying a kayak, is making sure that you are safe. And Old Town, to me, I would say that it's the most stable boat. I've been in a few other boats and it just felt a little more tippy. Maybe I'm just more biased because I own an Old Town. So really the only cons to the boat that I really have to say is the front hatch being such a small thing to get a battery or you know, or whatever you're trying to pack out. It's kind of hard to utilize that front hatch. And yeah, that's my Old Town Autopilot little run through of what I do and how I have it rigged up. But for the most part, that's it. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys aren't already, please like and subscribe this video. If there's any questions you guys have on the Old Town, leave them in the comments section below. Appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks.